is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura RDX, $399 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. I'd like to wish you a happy holiday season and a healthy and prosperous new year from your favorite lawyers at Welt and Rayom.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura Integra, $289 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The game is final. Tua and the boys are in the locker room. Let's go over what happened in this game in our Dolphins Postgame Show with Big O. The Postgame Show is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, Toyota of Hollywood, RM Contractors. The stats are final. The insiders are ready. The platform is mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley. Now, let's find out what the Big O thinks about this matchup as we start our Dolphins Postgame Show. Here's Big O.
I think if you don't have players like Achane, if you don't have players like Sealer, if you don't have players like Tua, you don't win games like this because some people have to step up and try and make some plays. Others try to do their best to lose the entire damn game by themselves. But hey, welcome aboard. We got a victory, which is a beautiful thing. You know, we were talking about it. Personally, I didn't think they would even win this game. I thought they would lose this game. And then some people were telling me, so, who cares about winning this game? They're out of the playoffs. And I know mathematically. So, but whatever. To me, it doesn't matter. You want them to win. You're a fan, period. I'm not going to sit here and hope for them to lose, dude. I'm not sitting there. I'm hoping that it's fun to watch certain people step up and play and get some things done. You know what I'm saying? And Devon Achane, dude, can't say enough about that kid. He has been even overused this year. I mean, he has 17 rushes and 6 catches in this game as it is. 190 total yards, and the heart and soul of the offense. Him and Tua basically, just awesome. I mean, and Jonnu added some there too, but it was impressive. And one of the things we talked about in the pregame show: can they run? If they can win the game. And I was like, no, they can't run the game. They can't run the ball. So another reason why I'm not picking them. Well, today they rushed the ball 30 times for 166 yards. Okay. So they were able to rush the ball. Now you could do that. You're going to be able to give yourself a chance to win some of these games. This shouldn't have been a close game, as you all know, because Tyreek dropped a few touchdowns. 3 drops. And by the way, for the record, the slight tip from the defender was not enough to throw Tyreek off. If you have elite hands, you make elite catches. And it wasn't like the ball got all wobbly and got all crazy or anything. It was a little... And it just shows how when you see the other drops, it shows that his concentration is not good. Okay. So really, he doesn't have elite hands, and he proves this all the time. Okay. But the good thing is the team was able to overcome all of Tyreek's screw-ups. They were able to overcome even their own screw-ups. You know what I'm saying? So it was good. It was good. It was a way. Listen, Chop Robinson, he saved a touchdown. Okay, not only did he get a sack, but he saved the touchdown on that tip pass. So, again, I mean, he's turning into a hell of a player. Those are 2 plays there. One of them won't show up on the stat sheet. You're going to know, right? But the average person might see a pass deflection, but they won't realize how important that pass deflection was from Chop Robinson. Those are things that I like to see on a game like this, that, the season's pretty much done, but you still want to see who's got some cojones, who still wants it. And Devon Achane wants it in a bad way. Jonnu Smith, he wants it in a bad way. So it's cool to watch, I like that. And it was cool to see Kohou get the interception that Calais Campbell obviously helped force too, at the same time. But the shame is, as I'm watching this game too, in the Tua glasses, the kid has to be perfect, because there's so much screwing up around him that he can't even afford to make a mistake himself. He has to be above human for a team like this, because this is a team that's going to commit penalties. It's going to make mistakes. It's going to drop footballs. And it's just, whatever. It's just that it is what it is. The coach on the sideline, look, that timeout he took, he didn't have to take that timeout. But again, they were up, they were fine, whatever. It doesn't cost you anything. So it goes by, and it's just water under the bridge. But in the grand scheme of things, in tight games against good teams, all those little things end up adding up and will cost you in big moments. But, it is what it is. Today, you were able to overcome a lot of key mistakes. You left a lot of points on the field today. You were fortunate that San Francisco had a lot of injuries, and so they weren't, at their best, which is good for the Dolphins. And you found a way to win, man. You found a way to win, which, you know what? I got to say, you found a way to win that even with them hurting and missing so many people on their offensive line and second and third and fourth stringers that are playing, I still thought that they would win the game. Missing what they were down to their fourth, fifth string running backs, I still thought they would win the game. So that's how much I really didn't think they would win this game out of the next 3 that are left. So good shit, man. Good shit that they were able to put it together and win the game. And again, I tweeted this out earlier. Zach Sealer, he is definitely the 2024 MVP. Definitely the MVP of this team.
top to bottom. He is exactly what you want from every. It's like they're Udonis Haslem, Zach Sealer. Can't say enough about Zach Sealer. He is the perfect player. He is the most complete player on the team. Okay, he is good in pass rush. He is good against the run. He just does it all. He is an absolute professional. He never, ever complains. His effort is top notch at every moment, every second, and he plays way above his pay. We spend our lives talking about the contracts like Tyreek that aren't worth it, and we don't talk enough about the contracts that are absolute steals. And Zach Sealer in his first contract was a steal. Now he's a steal anyway. I mean, it's really amazing, Zach Sealer. And then here's the other thing that I'm seeing on the chat board. And folks, you all can't complain about Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry. Very few of you did not want to hold back from paying him. Okay? So you can't complain now. Please don't on the chat board now. Oh, trade him and all that bullshit. Okay? You can't trade him. They're stuck with him. They will not be able to move that contract. Okay? You had an out at the end of last year. This could have been his final year. But 99% of you wanted Miami to give Tyreek the money. No one in the media except yours truly, I'm pretty sure. Please name me somebody in the media. I'm not sure who it was, but I'd like to know who it was that was with me and said, don't pay Tyreek. Don't give him that guaranteed money. I think I read mostly, oh, no, you got to give him the money. You got to make tough decisions, and you got to look at the player and the person and the lack of professionalism. You cannot want Tyreek now traded when it's impossible. And all of you that wanted him traded, you're all the ones that wanted him paid last year. Okay? So in the offseason, when they paid him, you guys wanted him paid. All right. Very few of you have any tangible proof that says you didn't want him paid. So the complaints about Tyreek, very few people have the right to complain about Tyreek. And all of you pretty much don't have the right to say trade him because you can't. It's stupid. They can't. The cap hit would be ridiculous. They won't have an opportunity to get out till after next season. Okay? So don't complain about Tyreek. Too late. Too late to get on that bandwagon. Now it's obvious. Now it's a little late. You're way behind yours truly that pretty much saw all of this coming, because that's kind of what he's been showing you the entire time. But I'm not sure what a lot of you were watching. You know, I was watching a dude that lacks total professionalism in everything he does. Everything. So no complaining from you guys about Tyreek and the trade and, you know, the stupid shit that fans come up with, because a lot of you don't follow the sport. You don't really understand what's going on with the business of it. So pump the brakes on your Tyreek complaints. Okay? All right? So let's start with that one, because I'm really going to crush a lot of people. I'm not crushing only Tyreek and the Dolphins for giving him that contract, but I'm going to crush a lot of you out there, because a lot of you are two-faced. A lot of you are full of shit. You wanted Tyreek Hill. You wanted him, and you wanted them to give him the money, and you were intoxicated. I know, because I've gone through this already with the whole Jimmy Butler bullshit and the X thing. Same thing. You can't cry wolf now, dude. No.
No. You went to the ballot box and you voted for Tyreek. Now that you voted for Tyreek and now that he's in office, don't complain now, dude. No. You made your vote nice and clear on that one. Most of you wanted Tyreek here. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo. Remember, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. 3 different ways you can make a donation. Reach out to us. Give us a complaint, insult, whatever it is you want to do, or a question. We will answer it. And Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which Bitcoin's at 94 something right now. It's a beautiful little dip. It's a sweet ass dip, man. Anyway, you can also make a donation through PayPal. Peter German, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He says, another W in spite of McDaniel. Best signing of the year were Calais and Jonnu Smith. Biggest disappointment is Tyreek, who went from Cheetah to Chica. Whoa! Adam Pink, sir, out in Indianapolis. Oh, thank God we won today. Yes, dude. Yes, please. Better than I hate losing. Losing is just, this whole season for me has got me just so freaking pissed. Anyway, thank God we won today. I was watching the Dolphins game with my in-laws in New York, and they would have killed me if they endured all that yelling for nothing. The in-laws too, boy. Anthony Lizzie on Venmo. Thank you. Too late. All I want for Christmas is a successful change. Well, we will excuse me. If by chance they make a change, then we'll talk about it. But there's a good chance, as I told you in the pregame show, if they run the table, no change. If they lose 2 of 3, change could be possible. If they lose all 3, starting with today, for sure change. So right now, they're securing their return for sure because they paid everybody. You have to have a disastrous ending. This was the game to lose. Okay? All right? I agree with Romo that he must have said it like 8 times in the broadcast. The next 2 games are the easier ones. But you and I know to take a Jet game for granted, no matter what, you've got to be a moron. No Dolphin Jet game. I don't care how good the Dolphins are. I don't care how bad the Jets are. And that's not the case. It's not like the Dolphins are great. You know what I'm saying? But I've dealt with the heartache, bro. I've dealt with the heartache for many years and decades and stuff like that. I've had Marino teams that are like really good, and then they somehow lose to the Jets because it's so Dolphins. It's the shit that, we can't explain. Anyway, so let's enjoy it. We got the win. It's all that matters. You know what I mean? As for change, if it happens, then we'll talk about it. And if there's options, we'll talk about it. All of that, Anthony. But right now, let's be in the moment. And let's ride this crazy ass ending out and see what happens in the next 2 weeks. Joe Cracciola, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Very kind of you. He says, Big O, great game. That was old school Dolphins football. Have a very Merry Christmas. Love the show. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Very nice of you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Let's see. Carlos, Sean Stanley, load it up on the Perdomo side. He says, Big O, can I get a Perdomo for the W? Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate the love on Cash App. Thank you, sir. As always. There we go. Let's see. Romo is a snuck or maybe a schmuck. That's probably what you mean. He said after Achan's TD, he should have slid to guarantee the victory. Now you score. You have no idea how much more ways Tyreek Hill can screw up a game, so you got to score. Let's go to the Super Chats. because I know we've got some super chats coming in, and we appreciate the super chats. We always encourage Cash App or Venmo or PayPal because we get 100%. That's why we always tell you that. Here we appreciate it, but YouTube takes 30%. That's why. Okay, but we appreciate it anyways. True Fin fan. So Chop's still a bust. I don't know, True Fin fan. You know, we like to jump the gun here and start passing judgment on young people when they haven't developed and they haven't been given any time to grow. Chop is one of the reasons why you won the game. Chop Robinson's 2 huge plays. You talk about Calais Campbell's big play there. You talk about Zach Sealer. You talk about Achane and Tua and Jonnu. You know, there were some like there were like 6-7 guys in this game. Hey, by the way, Jason Sanders, bro, come on. Hey, let's go. Jason freaking Sanders. Okay, he made Tony Sparano super, super proud today. Mike McDaniel in his own way kind of, you know, had the spirits of Sparano in him. Lots of field goals, lots of celebrations for field goals, but Jason Sanders hit him. So, Jason Sanders, dude. Jason Sanders could have made this shit interesting by missing some field goals, right? Tyreek Hill wanted to miss some touchdowns to make it interesting. So, what the hell? You know? Some people made this game, made you proud as a Dolphins fan, even though you may feel the season's over, even though you may feel, bro, if they make the playoffs, they're not going to do anything. Even if you don't believe they're not going to make the playoffs or whatever, it doesn't matter, dude. These are the kind of moments that make us as fans. Because we're still watching, even if I don't think there's much to do, I'm still going to watch. I'm still going to root them on. I still want them to do well. I'm still happy for Jason Sanders, super happy for Jason Sanders. You know, he's had his rough moments. We've all picked on him, and yet, you know, he came through today. Even Pat in Nashville came around on Duke Riley. You know, I mean, you know, the world, you know, can turn for the better there. So today we got to be proud as Dolphin fans that Zach Sealer's on our team and that Calais Campbell came here, you know, to play this season because shit, man, he's one of the reasons why we want to watch. Achane, God bless his heart, man. I mean, hasn't Achane already like earned a spot in your heart forever as a Dolphins fan? That young man has sold his body and soul to the Dolphins for the last 2 years. He does anything and everything you want. He never complains. He doesn't point fingers. He just tries to make plays. He's gone through injuries, concussion, everything, and the kid just keeps going through, bro. You know? So when you have the Zach Sealers of the world, you have, look, a young Chop Robinson. I was kind of disappointed that Teron Armstead played. I know they're playing for something. So no Patrick Paul. But I was still, you know, depressed because I want to see the young guys. He is the future. But Chop is the future. And it's good to see that because eventually you'll get back your pass rushers. They're already proven. Chop isn't yet. Chop is now proving himself too that, hey, this kid's going to be for real. You got to like what he's done so far. What does he have right now, Sean? Is it 4.5 sacks? Right now? Could you look that up for me? I want to say it's like 4.5 sacks. So if he can pick up another one or two in the next 2 games, end up with 5.5, 6.5 sacks, that would be actually a very good rookie season, actually. Very good rookie season. For a start for him. Would be cool. I think he has 4.5. I want to say. Maybe he has 5. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll look at it there. What else? Warwick Dunlike is yeah, there's a little bit of that. Say what do we have? 4? I can't see the PayPal stuff.
Just 4.
Oh, just 4? Does that include today?
I don't know. I'm looking at ESPN stats right now.
Yeah, that may not include today.
No, it does. It does. He's got 1 sack today, 1.5 against Houston, and 1.5 against New England.
Okay. All right. So 4. All right. So if he can get to 5 or 6, that would be pretty damn good to start off. Not bad for a guy that we all know is green. All right, let's go. Sean, what do we got next? Man of 1,005 holds. We live to fight another day. Run, right? Thank God. Next up. Man of 1,005 holds again. Thank you, sir. Someone take challenge privileges from McDaniel. First of all, who's the person upstairs doing this for 3 years in a row? They're really bad at it, dude. Like, they're really bad at it. Next up. No doubt. Call me a blind-ass fan, but I may be back on the hopium, Big O. Love seeing Darth Cater and Calais seal it up. Chop, chop. No, listen. It's not the hopium's fun, okay? It's not like you don't want them to win. You want them to win. It's just hard to believe after all the heartbreak and all that kind of stuff. So it's good. Listen, today they played a team that's so injury riddled and so screwed up, and yet they still found ways to make this game interesting. And that's it. There were a lot of little examples in this game why Miami isn't a good team. Let's just put it that way. It's great to win. We love it. But we know if they're playing a really good team with all those mistakes, they don't win. They don't win. Next up. Let's see. Ozzie Fisher. McDaniel still did his best to simple Jack again, even in a win. You know the line. You never go full, but still find a way. Ozzy, all I can tell you is they do things in spite of the guy. Put it that way. That's what pisses me off about this season. The talent should have way more wins on the record, but the coach is the thing that really stopped them from having a better season and being a better team, a consistent team, a more disciplined team, all those kind of things. And today proved it in many ways too. Next up, Sean. What's the next super chat? Oh, okay. True Fin Fan says Chop has 6 sacks. Thank you, True Fin Fan. I don't know if that be true, but I know Sean was looking it up now. And it's only 6, it's only 4 sacks, I think. But I don't know. Who knows? Mistakes could be made. You might be right, you might be wrong. But maybe the only thing I could think of is the 4 could be 5. That's about it. I don't think 6. That part I don't think, True Fin Fan. Could it be a 5? Maybe. But 4.
It is. It looks like it might be a 5. He's projected to have 6.1. He's had 4 in the last 5 games, 4 against the AFC. That's the reason. And then this one against San Francisco.
Oh, he has 5.
Yep.
Okay. So he's already got a good season going for a rookie. Okay. Pass deflections. He saved a touchdown today with that pass deflection because the guy was wide open. Wide open. Would have been a touchdown. Okay, so that's 4 points he saved right there. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the missed field goal? I don't even know. Was that no, right? I don't think so. I'm not sure now. But I know that they missed a field goal. I don't know if that was after that one. I don't think so. I think they made that one, actually. I think they converted that field goal. I'm pretty sweating on that one. CBS had some damning, incriminating stats about McDaffie's record versus 500. Yeah, he's just he's just a weak coach, man, unfortunately. Let's see. What do we have here from Marcel Louis Jacques? Tyreek Hill attributed his drops today to a lack of reps during the week. those vet rest days are starting to show. Those Wednesday reps are definitely starting to show. As a leader, I need to bite the bullet and get those reps with Tua. Tyreek is so full of shit, dude. Like, go look at my Twitter feed, Big O Show, and look what I said. He'll have excuses and promises of improvements after the game. And there they are again. He's so full of shit, dude. He's so full of shit. Okay? That's garbage. You're the one that pulls yourself out on third downs, bro, in the middle of a game. What kind of a player wants to be off the field on third down? And you've polluted Waddle because he went off the field for you. And on a 3rd down and 15, you forced the team to count on Grant Dubose. And what was that other dude's name? Chosen. Oh, shit. Leadership, bro. You don't know the first freaking part of definition of leadership. Leaders want to be on the field on 3rd down. Leaders want the ball on 3rd down. And leaders don't make excuses that they didn't get enough reps. If you didn't get enough reps, it's because you're not a professional, my brother. Okay? Because Kobe Bryant practiced his ass off. Alonzo Mourning practiced his ass off. How do you think they got better? They practiced their ass off. If you want to take a vet day, that's your problem, dude. You've been dropping balls since you got here. This is the 3rd year of Tyreek Hill dropping passes. So you're full of shit, dude. Absolute full of shit. What did that have to do with Buffalo when Tua puts it right in your hands and you drop it? Touchdown. Then Trent Sherfield follows right after. What does that have to do in Kansas City when Tua puts it in your hands and you drop it twice in that game? But I'll give you a break on the slant. You've been dropping key passes in key moments since you got here, dude. It's just that most have given you the pass, I haven't. That's the problem here. The problem is most in the media have given Tyreek Hill a pass. Most fans have given Tyreek Hill a pass. And unfortunately, the organization gave him a pass, and look what they did. What do you got, Sean?
I stand corrected. We have an addendum thanks to the great Jeff Welt from Welt and Realm. He sent to me a screenshot. So it looks like today's game did not count in the stats. Chop Robinson has 6 sacks.
No shit.
Yes, he's got 1 against Buffalo, 1 against the Rams, 1.5 against New England, 1.5 against Houston, and now 1 against San Francisco. So he's got 4 against AFC, 2 against the NFC, which would give you the 6. So True Fin Fan was correct. And thank you, Jeff Walt, for sending that. Nice. Yeah, because it's not added up on the total column. It still says 5. So I'm guessing the San Fran's not registered yet. I'm guessing.
Okay. All right. We'll take it, dude. That's awesome. So he's working on a very good season now. If he could get another sack or 2 in the next 2 weeks, that means 7 or 8. Holy shit. That'll be a really good season for Chop Robinson, dude. You know, the guy that a lot of you already quit on? Yeah, but not that you guys are going to admit that you quit on him, you know. How many of you quit on Chop Robinson and also wanted Tyreek Hill paid? Want to impress me? Admit that. Oh, Lordy. Lordy. Thank you, True Fin Fan. Way to go, buddy. Oh, we got another one here. Humble Legend. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Big O, I feel like Pookie in New Jack City. The hopium is calling me, but I'm trying to resist it, man. It keep calling me.
Let's see. I have to admit it, Big O is right here. Hill has a lot of drops in key situations over his time here. For 3 years, he's been doing it, unfortunately. Let's see what else. The defense, by the way, came up big here. They came up big. They shut it down at the end. Let's see. Big O, you give Tyreek many passes, but he drops them all. That's it. Let's see. Bobby Curtis says, I was wrong, Big O. Chop actually has 6. Thank you, sir. Perk is also down on Hill. Well, it's about time people got down on Hill. They should have been down on him last year. Did Perk want to get him paid last year is the question. I don't think I don't remember a lot of media members saying, no, don't guarantee the money. I think a lot of them wanted him paid. Just like Superman and Clark Kent, have you ever seen Tyreek Hill and George Santos at the same time? Ooh, that is an important one. All right, let's go. Let me go to the stats, by the way. We should go to the stats because there's some decent stats in this game that we should be able to brag about and some people that deserve some love in this 29-17 win for the Dolphins, which are 7-8. They got a chance to win the next 2, which, again, this is another reason why Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer will survive. If they win the next 2, it's 3 winning seasons. Even if they make the playoffs or they don't make the playoffs, it's still 3 winning seasons. So it's another reason why. That's why I told you they had to lose 2 of 3 or lose all 3 to really create a doubt overall. But, at this point, those of you that want change, I just don't think it's going to happen. If it does, then we'll talk about it. Tua was terrific, 22 of 34, 215, a touchdown, no interceptions. You all know he should easily have 3 touchdowns in this game. Devon Achane was awesome, 17 for 120 and a touchdown. Mostert, by the way, had a couple nice runs, 8 for 31. Jeff Wilson had 2 for 12 overall, 30 for 166 and a touchdown. So they were kicking some ass, over 5 yards a carry. Achane was your leading receiver, not only a leading rusher, but receiver, 6 for 70. Jonnu Smith, 6 for 72. Tyreek Hill, 3 for 29. And finally, he caught one of the 3 touchdowns. And Malik Washington, 3 for 28. Tough young man, overall 4 targets, caught 3 of them. By the way, Achane had 7 targets and caught 6. So not bad. Now, Tyreek Hill had 7 targets, caught 3. Anyway, Jordan Brooks, who got banged up, 7 total tackles, 4 solo, had a sack, obviously. Zach Sealer, 4 tackles, 3 solo, also had a sack in the game. Chop Robinson also had the other sack for their 3 total sacks. Poyer with 7 tackles, 3 solo. Anthony Walker had 6 tackles, 4 solo. And Emmanuel Ogbah and Jalen Ramsey each had 5 tackles, 2 solo. And Kendall Fuller, by the way, who played himself a really nice game overall, had 4 solo tackles, 2 in the game. So good shit there. Overall, the team stats were kind of interesting. It was more like a mirror when you were looking at it. First downs, 22-20 for Miami. The total plays, 64-61 Miami. The yards, 381, 374 Miami. Total drives, 11-10 Miami. Yards per play, 6 yards per play for Miami, 6.1 for San Francisco. It was just kind of like one of those things. Passing is where San Fran had an edge at 293 for 215. Yards per pass, 6.8 for San Fran, 6.3 for Miami. Rushing, Miami had the edge like they had passing, 166-81, which I would have never guessed that. But they were down to their 4th running back and 5th running backs and all that kind of stuff. The time of possession, a little bit of a difference for Miami, 33-26 in favor of Miami overall. Penalties, Miami had 6 for 45. San Fran killed themselves today, 11 for 90. That helped a lot of drives for Miami, which was really good. We'll take that. We'll take that. You know why? Our team does that for opponents all the time. So we'll take it the other way. Why not? Why not? You know? How about Jonnu having the most catches as a tight end in Dolphin history? Tua with his 100 TD. Yes, exactly. Really good. And think about it. McDaniel barely used Jonnu the first month because we all thought watching him in preseason, the training camp, we said, this is the Jonnu that we were expecting. And in the first month, we were like, where's Jonnu? So they didn't use him that first month pretty much. Can you imagine? He would have another 150 yards easy on his stats, maybe more, maybe another 2 or 3 touchdowns. You know, what a shame. What a shame. Let's see. This was a great win for us, but the Niners also bailed us out with untimely penalties and turnovers. Hey, Todd, Miami does that for other teams too, all the time. Our team has a history of doing that in key moments. Once in a while, the shoe's got to fall on the other foot, dude. So, you know, better them than us. All right? That's all I can say. Hill needs less Fortnite time and more time practicing catching the football. I would agree with that. Seriously, grow up, dude. I would agree with everything you said there, St. Michael. You know, I understand that you're having fun with the Fortnite part of it, but whatever stupid game he's playing and whatever games he's playing overall, he just lacks complete professionalism. And today they were lucky that they could overcome, you know, his mistakes. Very fortunate as a team that they were playing a team that they could overcome those kind of mistakes. Let's see. James Burke says, I have a question that has nothing to do with the way we played. Does anybody think the Dolphins should change their uniform, like maybe add some black to them or James, none of that really matters, dude. When Mike McDaniel's the coach, none of that really matters. You still got to make good decisions. So changing it, a more aggressive look. Look, today you went out there and ran the ball more. And it paid off for you. You got to continue to do that. That's the kind of attitude that you've got to continue to have. Okay? And if you all are coming back next year, well, that's the attitude that's got to continue in order to have a better offense. But we'll see. Again, it's just like we're a broken record. We keep talking about the same issues and then we talk about them and then they really don't end up addressing them or getting it done. You know? 44 will be the second best-selling jersey by the playoffs. Can't ever count someone with the quickness to get off of chop, just a special trait. That is true. That is true. What was the name of the guy? Lights Out. He was incredibly fast off the line of scrimmage. I know he also took some steroids too in his career. But, God, what's his name from the Chargers? But, you know, guys like that, and Chop has some of those qualities that he's super explosive off the line. Yeah, those kind of people are impressive. That's it, Sean Merriman. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate you, B. McD. Alchemist. Thank you, Shelby Jordan. KB the Hunter. Marco Rocks, St. Michael, Shang Tu Sheng. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are on top of it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Justin Floyd. There we go. I noticed the symmetry that San Francisco displays with self-inflicting wounds in comparison to the weekly CFU our Finns gift opponents. Yeah, there was a little bit of looking in the mirror today. Yes. Yeah. That's why when the one other guy just said, well, you know, the Dolphins got lucky with the San Francisco mistakes. Well, hey, dude, I mean, they can say that about Dolphin games all the time, that Miami makes mistakes that help the other team win, and you and I end up super frustrated in the end with all of that. So, yeah, I mean, we suffer all the time from the same fate. We're not – no one's you know – no one is above any of that kind of stuff happening. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we love that always. Rod Romero, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. He says, Merry Christmas. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you in a big-time way. Thank you for the love on Cash App or Venmo. True Fin Fan, once again on Cash App. Thank you, sir. I'm almost positive I never said sign Tyreek. You're on enough that I would remember if you would have hammered that away. I would have remembered that about you because you're on every damn day and you comment all the time. And you're pretty open about your comments. Excuse me. Like McDaniel. You're not a McDaniel guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to believe that from you. I'm going to go with you on that you didn't say to sign Tyreek. Because I would have remembered. For sure. So I'm with you there. You might be one of the few that gets that pass out there. Because most everybody wanted to sign him. They were all terrified to lose him. And I'm like, yo, dude, one more year. Let him go, bro. He'll be older at that point. And, just you milked it. You got to learn to get off. These teams, sometimes they don't know how to get off the gravy train. And I've been watching this, and it's sad that they don't know when to okay, get off of it, dude. Right now's the time. I know it hurts. You think you're losing out on something, but you really aren't in the big picture. It's just you're stuck in the moment right there, and you just can't give in to that prisoner of the moment thing. Justice Maldonado says, I find it funny how Romo kept saying how we have a chance to make the playoffs. No way the Colts can lose to the Giants or Jags, and we drop one of these last two. Enjoying the win tonight. Yes, that's right. And you know what, Justice? It's a great attitude to have, okay? Dude, if it happens, fantastic. If it doesn't, we pretty much expected them not to make it. We pretty much expected them to kind of disappoint us, or not that everything would fall into place. It's just when you're at this point, you get what you deserve. And we've been at this point in the last 30, 40 years, more often than not. Rarely are we going into the playoffs like a higher seed and with momentum and confidence that we can make a deep run. That never happens pretty much. We're always the team that barely makes the playoffs or barely misses the playoffs. That's always the team that our guys are every time. So, Justice is right. Listen, enjoy the win. The whole thing, we have a chance. Yeah, dude, I've heard that before, And it's so Dolphins that they would lose that Jets game. It's so Dolphins that they would lose that Jets game. So am I going to build myself up because I've watched Marino lose that Jets game? I've watched Marino lose that Jets game. I've watched Marino lose that Jets game. Okay? Yes. I know what it's like to be a Dolphins fan. I've lived it my whole life, and there's a lot of pain. So I'm just not going to set myself up for that. If it happens, fantastic, bro. We'll see wherever the crazy ride takes us for one more game or whatever, but I'm not going to build myself up for that. I'm just not doing it. Don't forget, if we back our ass into a miracle playoff appearance and win, would back. I think I told you McD's going to be back as long as if he wins two of the three that are left. I think he and Chris Greer are easily back. You would have to lose two of three or all three in order for there a chance to be a change. So one more win in the next 2 weeks, they're in. They don't have to make the playoffs. I don't believe that. But if they have the 8 or 9 wins, I think they survive. I really do. They go with the whole thing, the injuries and Tua and all that shit, and they survive. Dougie Fresh says, I want to use band references for the current Finns. Are we Van Halen losing David Lee Roth, Simon losing Garfunkel, or are we Millie losing Vanilli? Yes, I'm going to go with the latter. I'm going to go with Millie losing Vanilli. Yep. Doug, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. James Burke, thank you for the love on the super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With the number one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No doubt. Appreciate the super chat. Agba busy in backfield. Bring him back for depth. I would too. That's not a bad one for depth. Toxic Fart says, sorry, Big O, I don't have Cash App or Venmo. There's also PayPal. Toxic Fart. There's also PayPal. You can use the QR code. But hey, man, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. You care about the platform. You want it to survive. Thank you. Welton Rayom wants it to survive and thrive. That's why they're proud sponsors. 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense. Please call my guys at 954-966-4646. We will have the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins postgame report in a few minutes with the one and only David Furones. All right. Let's see here. What do we got on Venmo? Hateful Steve is in the house. I'm not being a smart ass here, but I've got a question. If you believe we'll never go anywhere with McDaniel and losing 2 out of 3 might get him canned, then how can you root for him to win and return to ruin next season? You know why, Steve M? Because I'm a miserable Dolphins fan. And I have lived in misery for the last 40 years, and the rug has been pulled from under me. And you know what? I don't even think they can make the playoffs. But in this crazy world, they might even make the playoffs. And then by some crazy ass shit, win a playoff game and then get eliminated. And then they do something we've never thought, and I never even thought it would happen. And hell, but I can't sit here and root for them to lose against the Jets. I can't sit here and root for them to lose against Cleveland or today against I didn't even think they were going to win today. But I'm sitting there and I'm jumping up for joy when Sealer gets that fucking sack, dude. And I'm sorry for my French. And when Chop makes that block, and Achan's freaking heart is the heart of a lion. And when players like that are playing like that, Steve, it's your job and my job to root for them, dude. Because Calais Campbell is not just playing for money, dude. He's playing for, he actually has pride. He has professionalism. So while Tyreek Hill just pisses me off with his lack of professionalism, I have to admire the shit out of Chop Robinson, who has to hear all the bullshit from people writing and talking about how much of a failure he is as a pick and this and that. And the kid's just trying to learn and grow from the position. And there he goes. And he's off and running. He's got 6 sacks. Yeah, I got to root for that, dude. I got to root for that. Mostert had a couple of rushes. They were all positive. The dude went through a brutal stretch with the fumbles, hurt the team and all that. He got benched and all that. There he is busting his ass for the team. I got to root for that, dude. I got to root for that. I got no choice. When Kohou makes the interception, I got to root for that. So that's where I'm at. It's not about McDaniel. It's about the freaking logo. It has nothing to do with McDaniel. Because McDaniels are going to come and go. I'm going to be here the entire time. So I have no idea when I'm going to have happiness. The true happiness, like a deep playoff run, a championship, like a real team that has the potential of being a playoff team every year. I don't even know when that's going to happen. So whatever monicum of success they can have, I'm going to enjoy. Because I have no choice. I'm a fan. Okay. But I'm going to complain and I'm going to bitch and I'm going to point fingers. I'm going to tell you what the hell is wrong or what I think is wrong and all of that. But I'm back next week and I'm back next season. And you know what? And here's one more thing to add besides the fan stuff. All the money's already committed, Steve. It's almost cruel to bring somebody in to have to inherit all this shit. So you know what? Leave them all there and see what they can sink or swim next year. And then it starts to open up the door to clean things out. And so, the hits start becoming less and less. So then you start to make a change, if change is necessary. But really, in the end, we can rattle our sabers and all that kind of shit. The team is pretty much set. There's not a lot of turnover you can make for next year. So right now, it's almost you're better off trying to see if they can figure this shit out and make it a little better next year and say, okay. Or they'll finish sinking the Titanic, and then you'll say, okay, not working. Now we've got more financial flexibility moving forward because now we're a year closer starting to get out of some of this deals and that deal and all that kind of stuff. So in the end, you can't expect a ton of change that's going to make so much of a difference next year. That's all. I hope some of you agree or find sense in it or whatever, What can I tell you? But that would be my answer, my friend. That would be my answer to it, So anyway, do we have any super chats that have come in just in case? Did I miss any? Okay. All right. Most of you were putting Chop Robinson on the chop block at the beginning of the season. Look at him now. No pun intended, by the way. That's right, Jared. And I was not one of those. Let's see. I'm not even giving up on Kamara, who hasn't even played. He has not played. And I am not giving up on him because he's a youngin' from the 5th round, and that's all right. We'll see what happens next year. See if he can get on the field and figure some shit out. St. Michael's, yes, we're all miserable Dolphin fans. 25 years of irrelevancy will do that to any fan base. Todd says, I rooted for tanking in Flores' first season, though. Yeah, but Flores didn't get the message. The show says logo first. Jared says, don't tell this team it's your inner self that feels that it's the 40 years of misery. Where that comes from, I've been a fan since 85. Yeah, it's what we feel for a long, long time. Thank you, Real Ones Company. Appreciate you. Even though the chances of making the playoffs are slim, says Dolphin, at least another week, we still have hope. So there you go. God's child, Big O. The NFL is constantly changing the NFL. I miss the old days, but what's your favorite new part of the game? It's an interesting question. What would be my favorite part of the new game? God, I don't know if I have a favorite part. Oh, I mean, it's nothing, but I do love the kickers nowadays are nothing like they were back in my day. These guys are nailing 55, 60-yarders like it's going out of style. It was a big thing when I was a kid to hit a 50-yarder, a 52, a 55. Oh, my God. And then when you started screwing around, like when Ray Wersching, what was his record? 62, right? With that stub foot or something like that. And that shit stood the test of time for, I don't know. I think it was Ray Wersching, right? Was it Ray Wersching? I forgot which guy it was, but there was the record stood for a long time, right? And when it finally was broken, and then now that's one thing I do like about the game, that the kickers have brought another level of athleticism. You know, it in a way, it's the same boost that Goliath gave to the NFL and the AFL in the 60s, where Goliath came from soccer and everybody was kicking straight. And Goliath brought in the soccer style, and he came kicking from sideways. He's the guy that started that in the NFL, and he was able to get more explosion out of it. Yes, sir.
A lot in the chat got it as well. Tom Dempsey.
Dempsey, that's it. Dempsey with the stub foot. Yes, that's it. 63 yards. And tell me how long that record lasted. That's the thing about that one. Okay? Because it was a record that lasted for a long time. And for years, people would struggle in the 58 and 59 and 60 and 61. To get to the Dempsey mark was a pain in the ass. They would struggle at all. Now, brother, like Janikowski was like the Seabass was probably the guy that really started that explosion with the football. You know what I'm saying? So I would say kickers are the real bonus to football nowadays. Those are the guys that I would say the evolution from Goliath and changing it to Janikowski and showing the explosion. And then, you know, Janikowski in a way is Seth Curry. You know, you could really say Seabass is Seth Curry. Seabass was the guy that all of a sudden became a weapon, because he's the guy that was in that 60-yard range with like no problem. And all of a sudden it became, oh, well, wait a minute. We can, this is a weapon we need to, and then credit to the kids and the adults as they grew and developed. And that's become one hell of a weapon. So I'll go with kicking, because a lot of the physicality part that I love is kind of gone. It's physical, but it's not as physical. So, you know.
The record stayed for 28 years till 1998. From 1970 to 1998, Jason Elam in Denver got the he tied it with 63. And since then, it's gone up to Justin Tucker in 2021, kicked a 66-yard field goal.
Yeah. But now the Dempsey kick is done more often, is my point. You know what I'm saying? And like I told you, when Dempsey did it, it took 28 years after that, more than a quarter century, because it still wasn't considered like a weapon that you could use until Sebastian Janikowski. And then all of a sudden, the explosion in the kicking department really started, literally. So there you go. Yes, sir.
Give a little more background. Sebastian Janikowski is the third person to kick a 63-yard field goal in 2011. Since then, David Akers, Graham Gano, Brett Mayer, Joey Sly actually did it this year. And then Matt Prater did a 64-yard field goal. Brandon Aubrey has a 65, and then Justin Tucker 66.
The gap of 28 years, that ain't happening anymore, doggy. You can't get 28 weeks consistently of somebody not hitting a 63-yarder now. You know, that's what's changed. That's one thing I will say. Devin Jordan, always a freaking stud. Thank you for the super chat. Not because of the super chat. That's awesome, and thank you. But he says, I want to apologize to Chop. I was totally wrong about him being a bust. Kid is having a hell of a rookie season. 6 sacks, baby. Let's see if he can end with 7 or 8, maybe 9. That would be nice. Big O was a thing of punter Ray Guy. Oh, you talk about Ray Guy? Yeah, Ray. You never wanted to get kicked in the ass with Ray Guy, because if he kicks you in the ass, you end up on the other side of the stadium in a parking lot somewhere. My favorite part of the new football generation is the drama of the media. It keeps my wife interested like soap operas. The Dolphin Dave says, all you can do is be a fan and go Dolphins. That's right, bro. That's all we can do. We can complain and bitch and all that, but we're all going to be back, man. Vinatieri was yes, he was, but not a long distance kicker like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, he was money in big moments. That's the beauty. And weather also. It's not 40 years of misery because every day I see Marino snap at quarterback and playing those games was an absolute honor. And that makes me realize, no, you're not getting me with that, bro. No, we screwed Marino big time, bro. No. It should have been better. It should have been way better, bro. No. It's he should have slung all those stats to mean a lot more than just stats. And that's the part. There aren't real tangible accomplishments tied to those stats. And that's the sad part. It's not his fault. I never blame him ever, and I never will. But the team didn't accomplish really much, bro. It's sad. It really is. Let's see what else. I watched every game of that 1-15 season of the heartache before and after. I don't think I will ever stop cheering for this team. Born in Miami, I'll die in Miami 305 or nothing for me. That's a true Finn fan. James Burke says favorite part of the game should be watching Top Robinson hopefully knock Josh Allen and knock him on his ass. That would bring me great joy for next season. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. Kane's Vibe says, I lived in Louisiana when Dempsey kicked that, beat the Lions 19-17, and the Saints were horrible in those days. Yes, sir. Jared says, remember Pete Stoyanovich had a big leg, made plenty of 50-yard field goals. And dude, and 50-yard field goals were big in those days. Money. Olindo Mare, money, you know. It was we've had some pretty good kickers here. EJ Barro entered the season knowing full well this team couldn't sniff the playoffs. So today, the win is a well-earned quantum of solace. Enjoyed the game, the win, and the hunt. Friggin' fins up. Blind-ass fan alert. Give EJ Barro a blind-ass fan alert.
Blind-ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind-ass fan coming through.
All right, let's go with the one and only Chris Perkins and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame report.
Time to go to the locker room, Miami Dolphins fans. Let's find out what's percolating with the one and only Chris Perkins in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame report.
What up, Perk, man? How you doing, baby?
Big O, I'm doing good, man. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, everything else to you and your listeners here. Or viewers,
Same to you, my friend. Yeah. And let's hope that for an interesting finish here because they've got two more. And you know, it's funny. We've all had different stances. Like, I'm not a Mike McDaniel guy. I want him gone. Some people want Chris Greer gone. Some people want Ross to sell the team and a whole new regime. Some people want Tua gone. You know what I'm saying? But you are, I think, in the only class in school. I think you're like on detention. You're like by yourself. Right? Because I don't think there's anybody in legitimate media. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm talking about media. I don't know of anybody else that says that, no, bring both guys back. I think people have made an opinion on one or the other or both or whatever. You're the only guy. And today was a big moment for them in pretty much helping to seal the deal for them to come back.
Here's what I say is that Greer and McDaniel should be a package deal. Either they both stay or they both go. I think the most popular way that people have is for Greer to go and McDaniel to stay. I think that invites dysfunction, Big O. I think if everybody is here with a GM that doesn't want them, it's going to occur to them very quickly, I'm in a one and done situation. that like I'm just here spinning my wheels. This guy is going to get the coach he wants, the quarterback he wants, the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, head scout, everything. He's probably going to change out most of the major positions. And so I think that leads to every man for himself mentality. I think that leads to a bunch of independent thinkers becoming butt kissers and yes men. And I don't like that at all. So look, one thing that we've got to give Greer and McDaniel credit for is the dysfunction is largely gone out of this organization. The dysfunction we saw under Flo and under Gase and under Philbin, where you had Don Aponte saying one thing and Dennis Hickey saying another and Jeff Ireland saying another. It's almost a one-voice approach to Steve Ross. Now, is that a credible voice? Is that a good football voice? It hasn't been so far. I do think that there's potential if these guys commit to making a stylistic change. And what I've said, Big O, is at this point, maybe last week, maybe tomorrow, Steve Ross needs to have Chris Greer come into his office and say, give me your 3-year plan. Give me your blueprint for the future. And Big O, I've said, if the word speed is in there, if I'm Steve Ross, I'm telling Greer to get the hell out of my office, take Mike McDaniel with you, and you can take Tua with you too, because I don't want to hear the word speed. I want to hear muscle, aggression, anger, violence. That's what I want to hear in the 3-year plan.
Well, you got some of that today. You ran for 166 yards. You actually ran the hell out of the football. I picked them to lose this game mainly because I didn't think that they could run the ball. And I thought, you want to win this game, you got to run the ball. I didn't think they would run the ball, and I thought that they would lose this game. So it's nice to see. Again, it's an aberration. It's not a matter of consistency. It's not a matter of culture. It's not in their DNA. It's not, we could use all the adjectives, it's just not who they are. It's not in their disposition. But it's funny. You got to go back. I've talked about this last week. You got to go back to the 70s. The last time the team had balls on defense, on offense, they won both lines of scrimmage, all of that. And they won with a quarterback that wasn't nearly as talented as Marino and Bob Greasy. But they were the kind of team that you needed to win, which is the kind of teams that win now. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I don't understand why for 40 years, even Shula in the Marino era didn't figure it out that he had to win the line of scrimmage. It's the craziest shit in the world, dude. And that's why, yes, I love your aggression thing. I've said that this draft needs to be, we got to go back to our days of rapping. It's got to be about the fat boys.
Yeah, exactly.
About the boys,
Yeah, go back to the old school, man. And look, one thing that I've always said about this Dolphins team is I do like their fighting spirit. And we saw that tonight, but the fighting spirit is not going to be enough. You've got to have a better strategy, a better philosophy, a better mindset. And that's what I'm talking about with, yes, winning the lines of scrimmage. And Big O, I've said that, look, to me, next year, 3rd and 1 offensively, no jet sweeps. We're lining up and we're running your ass over. Defensively, 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 4, we don't need to dial up some blitz. We're controlling the game with our front 4. And that's,
by the way, it's not so bad, Perk, too, because think about this. If you have Paul and you have Jackson coming back, you have your tackles, you have your center. So you're going to have an allotment of picks. You could go get a fat guy at guard. And on the D line, you have all the pass rushers coming back, and you have Sealer. Get a fat guy next to Sealer. Yep. And then you have your outside backers, and you have one inside backer. Get another son of a bitch in the middle. And that's what this whole draft should be about, the middle of the O-line, the middle of the D-line, and the middle of the linebacking core. That's what should be really taken care of in this draft.
Yeah, get some muscle, get some aggression, get that mindset that you need, Big O. And that's the other thing. Like, if I'm Chris Greer, or let's go higher, if I'm Tom Garfinkel, the president of the team, if I'm Steve Ross, the owner, when I come up with when we sit down and for our draft plan and our free agency plan, again, Big O, the word speed better not be on the list, because you tried the speed thing. It's not going to work. This is a violent, powerful league. You've got the speed that you need. Get some muscle. Get that mindset. Get that mentality. You did good getting Aaron Brewer and Saran Neal and Jonnu Smith, Jordan Brooks. You know, these are guys with that mindset. None of them are going to the Hall of Fame. That's fine. They have that dog mentality that you need. And that's the change that I would like to see with this team. It's not about getting a bunch of Pro Bowl players. It's getting some dudes with that dog mentality. That's what wins in the NFL. That's what wins in December. That's what wins on third down on both sides of the line of scrimmage. It's what Buffalo brought to you, what KC brought to you, what Kansas City, Baltimore, all of these teams. That's how they kick your butt. Match that intensity, get that mindset.
And by the way, speaking of that, your MVP is, I think, set in stone. It's Zach Sealer.
I think it's Sealer also.
He is the guy that imposes that intimidation, the effort, the professionalism, the standard he sets, the example he sets. He is, from top to bottom, the Udonis Haslem of the Miami Dolphins. He is exactly what you want every Miami Dolphin to embody, however they played, except for Tua, to embody the play, to play the game. You know, no, dude, you're a specialist, you're a pastor.
Yes.
It's over. It's over for you. Relax. So everybody else, you know, embody this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, Zach Sealer, dude. God bless.
Look, Big O, I always tweet when Zach Sealer makes a play that this is the dude who makes the big plays for the Dolphins and consistently in big games. It's not Tua, it's not Tyreek, it's not Waddle. It's Zach Sealer. I mean, you remember in the playoff game in Buffalo, the dude had a touchdown. You know, and so it's a 34-31 game. The offense scores 2 touchdowns. Zach Sealer had the other touchdown. Zach Sealer is disruptive. Zach Sealer will come up with sacks, and he'll make tackles for losses, TFLs. He impacts the game in many different ways, and he's a low-key guy, a unsung hero. He's not one of the guys that people around the league know. But if you're a Dolphins fan and if you play in the AFC East, you know who Zach Sealer is. That dude he is a headbanger, Big O, and he is my team MVP over Calais Campbell, over Achane, got over 1,000 from scrimmage. You know, over Jonnu Smith. You know, it's to me, it's Zach Sealer.
Achane is the close second.
I don't know that Achane is a close second, Big O. I'll tell you why. Because I kind of look at Achane hasn't impacted winning enough, and
that's not his fault, dude. He does everything on offense.
He's had an outstanding season, but I don't think he's a close second to Zach Sealer. Zach Sealer impacts winning more than Devon Achane, and I know you say Achane carries the ball and he scores touchdowns. Dude, Sealer has bailed your ass out of a lot of third downs that nobody else is making the plays.
No, Sealer's my number one.
I know. I don't think Achane is a close second. I think Jonnu is maybe as close as Achane is.
No,
and Jonnu, they didn't even discover Jonnu till game 4.
That's my point. They didn't play Jonnu in the first month of the season, pretty much, because again it was Mike McDaniel. But Achane has been a dual threat.
He has,
Without Achane, and he's the only consistent player on offense from week 1 till now. The only one. Think about that. There is not one player. Jonnu got consistent because they started using him from week 5 on, basically. But Achane has been an impact, man, guy. And I would have never guessed that he would have lasted this long physically.
Yep, stayed healthy. A lot of touches, he's over 1,000 yards from scrimmage. And I think I don't know if he established the single season running back record for receptions tonight, or if he ended up one reception short. But he's had an outstanding season. I can't, that's your opinion. It's definitely not a wrong opinion. It's not like saying Jalen Waddle or anything. it's a good opinion. Yeah, I disagree, but I can't argue it. It's a good opinion with Achane being a close second.
God, I admire the hell out of him. Now, the guy, again, excuses about, his wrist or whatever. Tyreek, man, he's been dropping balls for 3 years. He's been dropping balls in key moments for 3 years. This is nothing new today. I get it. He wants to keep the whole thing going so he can sue the hell out of the police department in the offseason. I'm not stupid. I know exactly what's happening here and why he's kept this whole charade going on and all that about his wrist. But in the end, the dude by himself was doing his best to kill this game. You know what I'm saying? Just 3 drops, dude. Even the tip, I don't give him a break. If you have elite hands, you make elite catches. Period.
That was a catchable pass. I'm not going to dump on Tyreek like a lot of other fans have. I do still think Tyreek has it. I do. I mean, he's still the best player on this team without a doubt. He's still a future Hall of Famer without a doubt. Now he's got to, finish out his career the right way. I mean, really the thing, look, Tyreek does have a bunch of drops, and I've written about that a couple of times. No. Tyreek is the best player on this team, and Jalen Ramsey is the second best player.
No. He right now, Achane is a better football player than Tyreek Hill by miles.
Achane's having a better season. He's not a better football player. He's having a better season. He won't have a better career. In 2 or 3 years, he won't be better than Tyreek, even when Tyreek is 32 or 33.
We're not talking about totality. We know where Tyreek is totality. Right now in 2024, Devon Achane is a better football player for the Miami Dolphins than Tyreek Hill is right now. He makes less mistakes. He shows up on a consistent basis, and he's a two-way threat, something that Tyreek Hill is not on a consistent basis. This kid is a two-way threat every single week. I disagree with you. I understand totality and all that and career, but right second, where we're living in 2024, this season, he's the best football player on the team offensively right now.
I hear you. I think that he's having the best season, and he's got the best numbers. If I'm starting an offense, if I'm doing any of that, I'm taking Tyreek over Achane without a doubt. Zero doubt, because everything that this offense is doing, everything that defenses do, remains based on stopping Tyreek. They don't care if Achane has 150 yards from scrimmage in a game, because it's not going to lead to victories. It's just not. It's kind of like the run game, where they've now got 7 games rushing for over 100 yards. They're 2-5 in those games. He's racking up yards, Big O. But what is this team's record? Last year, Tyreek, you were 8-0 when Tyreek had 100-yard games last year.
Achane won this game. He just won this game in front of you right now. He just won this game. He
won it, or did Jason Sanders win it with 5 field goals?
He
put it away.
He's the one that gave the field goal position for Jason Sanders. He's the one that just broke open for the game sealing touchdown.
He did. I will give you that. I will give you that, Big O. But listen, Achane is a quality football player. I'm not saying he's not a quality player. I don't think there's anybody in the NFL that would take Devon Achane over Tyreek Hill on December 22nd, 2024. Ask the executives. I mean, I don't think that anybody would. Achane's having a better season, right? He's having a better season, but the better football player remains Tyreek Hill.
I think one stock is going like this, and I see the other stock going like this. One stock is young and rising. The other stock is old and falling. I think that's what's happening. That's why I'm pretty sure, by the way, Perk, anybody outside of me in the media said do not pay Tyreek. Do you know any of your coworkers out there? Anybody?
I said don't pay Tyreek.
Oh,
don't extend. Yes, don't extend McDaniel. Don't extend Tua.
I know.
Waddle was the only one. I wasn't for paying Tyreek. I wasn't for extending Tyreek.
Then you're with So then
Yeah.
that's the mistake, because you could have gotten out of that deal right here, right now at the end of the
But
season.
I don't want to get out of the Tyreek deal. I mean, I know we differ on that. I don't want to.
No,
I didn't before the extension. I didn't. What I said was I wouldn't extend Tua because if things go south in 2024, I'm taking a broom to all three of them: Chris Grier, Mike McDaniel, and Tua. All of them going out the door. And they messed up. They locked in all these guys, and so now you're financially married to them for at least another year. And that's kind of why I say you might as well let Grier and McDaniel run it back, because they selected these guys. I do think that with a change of mindset, they could still get a good amount of talent out of these guys. You still have playoff talent. I think that after the departures, Teron Armstead, Javon Holland, Jordan Poyer, you'll probably pre-free agency, you'll probably be looking at 6, 7, 8 win team. You go through the draft and free agency, you get up to like maybe a 9 or 10 win team. Maybe you coach them up to a 10 or 11 win team, and you see what happens. I'm not going to sit up here. I know, Big O. I don't coach them up. I'm aware of that phrase, Big O. I know. I'm aware. I caught myself. I'm aware.
Wait. What comedy club are you at this week? Because I'm there.
I am at the. Yes, I will be performing in Miami Gardens at the Baptist Health South Training Facility.
Right. There. First row. I'm there. First row.
Yeah. Well, at least we can laugh about this, Big O. But I do think that they do have a chance to, with a change of mindset, to be a playoff team next year. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, now they can turn it around and get to the AFC Championship. I don't believe that. These guys, to me, Grier and McDaniel would be on a 1-year prove-it contract next year, right? That if you don't turn a miracle next year, if you don't win at least one playoff game, maybe 2, you're both probably out on your ass.
That's why I say you better make sure that this draft is about the fat guys and stop being the disorderlies.
Yep, the disorderlies. I like that.
All right. One more thing before I let you go. Tell me if I'm reading right into this. Chubb has a deadline of Wednesday. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The way I kind of see it, you can't get out of the Jalen Ramsey deal, Waddle, Tyreek, Tua. You just did these deals. Some of them are starting next season, actually. Mm-hmm. They haven't even started. But the Chubb deal is in the 3rd year now, coming up. So you actually have windows. So since Chop is elevating and playing, you're going to get Phillips back. You've got Kamara. I don't know what you feel about him, whatever. You could get somebody else in free agency. You could bring back Agba, all that kind of stuff. The Chubb thing, if they don't activate him on Wednesday, then that means he's done for the year. Are they doing that to protect him so much, to protect themselves? Because if they put him out there and he re-injures himself, then they're stuck like Chuck also with it. So I don't know how to read into this, but if you don't activate him, I'm going to kind of read that this is the end of Bradley Chubb.
I'm not sure. I think that they want to keep their options open. I'm for playing Chubb just a little bit, just to reward him for the hard work. But I do realize if the dude goes out there and gets hurt, you're screwed. You can't trade him. I don't know what his injury guarantee is, $10 million. I can't remember what his injury guarantee is, but you're screwed. But here's what I think, Big O. If you are going to give this a shot next year, you need to retain as much talent as you can. I'm not convinced that both Chubb and Jalen Phillips are going to reach 100% next year. I think maybe one of them reaches 100. I think the more realistic thing is both of them play at 80% maxed out next year coming off of these injuries. So I want both of them, and I want Chop. And I want those 3 guys as my pass rush foundation. If Mo Kamara can contribute, if Agba is still around at his advanced age, that's great. But I want Chubb, Phillips, and Chop out there just wrecking game plans for me. How can we control games? I don't want to give away talent. If I'm actually going to go for it and try to win a playoff game next year, I don't want to give away talent like that. Now, Chubb is, I think he's 21 million against the cap or whatever he is. You can still get something for him. I'm not sure you're going to get what you need. And now, what do you need? Like maybe a starting defensive lineman or offensive lineman. You're going to get pennies on the dollar.
But that's my point, Perk. You want toughness. You want all those kind of things. You may have to give up something to get, because you can't count on all the draft picks to fill. Like I said, get the guard. Get the defensive tackle, get a middle linebacker to really add. If you're going to add toughness to this team, these are some of the things you're going to need, right? Yep. And then on top of all of that, how much cap space are you going to have to add any of these in free agency and all that kind of stuff? So maybe you may have to sacrifice something, and there's not a lot of places to get cap space. Chubb is the one that I see that, obviously end up becoming some cap space. That's why I'm very interested to see what happens on Wednesday.
No, I agree. He is your most realistically tradable asset, right? Tua would be your other one, but he's not going. That's out of the question, right? That's out of the question. It is Chubb, and so me, from where we sit right now, I would say keep him because you accumulate the talent. But yes, if you want to make this thing right, and you probably will have to give up something to get something meaningful. Chubb is the something that could get you something meaningful in return.
There you go.
I agree. Yeah.
All right. What do you got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, Big O, today I think I'm going to write, what do you make of this victory? It's encouraging, and I like this team's fighting spirit. I like what they showed, but did they show you anything you didn't really know? So, you beat another sub 500 team coming in here. Did you see anything new? But then for the week, I do want to write about the new 3-year blueprint that you need to have for this Dolphins team. If you're Tom Garfinkel and Steve Ross, you've got to, where do you want this team to be at the end of the 2027 season? AFC Championship game, a playoff pick, and then let's work backward from there. If I'm Steve Ross, that's what I'm telling Grier. You get your butt in here. You give me a 3-year plan. I'll decide if it's good enough, if it's credible. That's going to be a major thing in me keeping you around, Chris Grier. So that's one of the things I'll be working on this week. That's a cheery holiday story, right? It's a cheery Christmas story, Big O.
Hey, man, listen, today's cheery. You got to win.
It is.
There was a lot of players individually that did some really impressive things today. I think Chop Robinson, after all the people that gave up on him, all those people have to get back on the bandwagon because the guy has 6 sacks in his rookie season, and he could end up with 7 or 8 sacks here in the next 2 weeks, and that would be a very good rookie season for this young man. So there was a lot of things to
hey, we didn't really hear Nick Bosa and Leonard Floyd's names today, did we? Yeah, that was a good thing. The pass protection, no sacks, complete game, 5 field goals from Jason Sanders. Ezukama got a couple of snaps, not meaningful, but he was in there. Wynn is in there. Cam Good is in there. Yeah, it is. I agree with you. It's a happy occasion overall, definitely.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they won, bro. So
yep, they won.
Follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk. And make sure you subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Perk, have a fantastic and blessed week, and Merry Christmas, my friend.
You too, Big O, and to everybody out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
You got it. There you go. The Perk Man, baby. And our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame report. Give them a ring, 305-433-4843. If you live in Dade or Broward County, no condos, just homes or businesses, call my guy, Eric at EJD Construction, custom home construction, the major home remodeling folks. They are fully insured. You can trust them. I've known them for years and years and years, and that's the beautiful thing. People that you can trust. Call them, 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report with the Sun Sentinel's Chris Perkins. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Jared, he says Tyreek Hill is a game changer. Is he on a downhill slant? Yes. Is he still a game changer? Yes. Chain on the up. But yes, experience triumphs the lack of experience. All I'm telling you is right now, I would call Devon Achane the better football player than Tyreek Hill. That's it. That's all. That's the way I would look at it. He is the better football player. He is helping me in more phases of the game. He is showing me more toughness in the game, okay? And he catches the ball more consistently than Tyreek Hill. So for me, I understand what Tyreek Hill can offer, but he's not really offering that anymore, especially on a consistent basis. So since a shell can just put him in a shell, Devon Achane is there, shell or no shell, the kid's making an impact last year and this year. And this year they shut out the receivers, and yet they haven't shut out Devon Achane. So for me, I think the discussion, I don't think people are understanding what I mean by football player. I don't mean by the career and that Tyreek is headed for the Hall of Fame and Achane has done shit yet to get to the Hall of Fame or even talk about it or even discuss it or anything like. I totally understand all of that. But right now in 2024, for me, I don't even think it's a discussion, dude. Seriously, I don't even think it's something to even. I think it's obvious that Achane is the better football player right now than Tyreek Hill. Okay, not talent. You can obviously Tyreek has that elite speed and talent, but right now, football player, I'll take Achane every day of the week and twice on Sundays over Tyreek. I can count on him. You know. All right, you know who we can also count on? We can count on the man, David Furones. He always comes through with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. So I got an interesting question for you. Just to start off and have fun right now. Okay, not career, not all time, none of that, not the more special talent or whatever. When I say right now in 2024, the better football player for the Miami Dolphins is Devon Achane over Tyreek Hill, you say what?
Achane.
Okay.
Was that it? No further discussion necessary.
Still thinks it's Tyreek, and I'm like, no, dude, because this guy's a double threat. He's in the passing game. He's in the running game. He's actually catching more consistently than Tyreek. His toughness is unquestioned. I mean, he takes hits. I don't even know how he's lasted this long, to be quite honest, at all. I have no idea how he's lasted this long. On Achane, what a hell of a football.
Yeah, he is, and I know we've spoken ad nauseum about how the run game fell off over the last 6 weeks, and how you want to see different things. Maybe you want to see Jalen Wright in there, just a greater physical presence, which we know Achane doesn't provide. That's not his forte, but he is, like you said, very tough for his size. But just the versatility that he brings. Finally, this game, the Dolphins got the run game going, and yes, he padded onto it with the 50-yard run at the end. But still, it was a decent rushing output even without that beforehand. And then what he does in the pass game, how versatile he is for this offense, certainly. And it's been a big drop off from what we saw last year with Tyreek Hill, where you couldn't even fathom thinking anyone else last year. But with the drop off we have seen, then yeah, I would give the edge to Achane just for how valuable he is in various aspects.
And Achane was a valuable aspect and a terrific football player last year when they were getting away with everything. And now this year that they're not getting away with everything on the pass game, he's still the guy that gets away with everything out of it. So yeah. Now on the flip side, he's a close second for me on team MVP, because for me, it is Zach Sealer by miles and miles and miles. He is the Udonis Haslem. That's who he's turned into, the Udonis Haslem of the Miami Dolphins. He represents your team every way possible perfectly, on the field, off the field, professionalism, the effort, the production on the field, big plays and big moments, just leader. He is Udonis Haslem of the Miami Dolphins. And this year, he would be my MVP. And I would give Achane the second place prize there. But, man, Zach Sealer for me is the Miami Dolphin MVP this year. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree with you there. And that's why everyone's got to go and hit that hashtag Pro Bowl, vote for Zach Sealer, get this man into his first Pro Bowl. He's been spearheading this defense up front, and him and Calais Campbell has been such a combination. But obviously, you give the edge to Sealer. It's not many defensive linemen that play that many snaps as he does and are durable, reliable the way he is, can rush the passer from the interior, which he added last year, has continued to do it this year. His play against the run, phenomenal. So at the forefront, literally and figuratively, of everything the Dolphins have done, is it starts up front with Zach Sealer. So and another thing, since you also mentioned Achane, just the durability he has shown with how much of a workload he's taken on for a man that size to take on in his second NFL season. I'd have to look at the updated numbers, but his total touches between the rushing attempts and the receptions now, it's through the roof. And he only had 100 carries last year, and he surpassed that weeks and weeks ago. So to take on the workload he has, which has maybe been a little too much at times, but he's still out there.
It has. Yeah. It's been way too much. It's been unfair to him, but I get it. They need him. He's the offense, dude. He's the offense. Without him, the Dolphins will be completely lost on offense, because that guy is the heart and soul of everything that's going on. He's the guy that Tua can really count on in every way possible, and that is just absolutely impressive. By the way, I guess a lot of people are like Homer into the bush with Chop Robinson. Now 6 sacks on the season. I guess everybody that gave up on him and called him a bust got to kind of backtrack there. This is a kid that has a chance to end the season with 7 or 8 sacks here the next 2 games, maybe 9 sacks, and end up with a hell of a year. But so far, 6 sacks for a rookie, damn good, dude.
Yeah, and I think that's more than any of his college seasons, right? Because that was the whole thing. It was his pass rush win rate in college, but then it wasn't translating to that many sacks. And you can just see how the Dolphins have taken him in under NFL coaching, and the raw tools and physical abilities that were present in the draft process. You see them now translating into just the skill set necessary to produce on the edge. So and it was pretty epic when he got the whole sideline doing the chop with him too. Like that was lit.
It's only going to go as a deflection, but
the deflection too. Yeah,
he saved 4 points because they ended up getting a field goal. That would have been the guy was wide open, dude. It was
the Kittle on that one. Yeah.
It was a touchdown, and he saved that. That won't go in the stat sheet. That you'll know that. I'll know that as fans because we watch it. But the general person, pass deflection. All right, that's cool. No. That wasn't just a pass deflection. That shit stopped the touchdown, bro. You know what I mean? That was huge. That there and some of the other stuff that went on. I mean, Tyreek did his best to give that game away. So all those things were very, very important. So it's nice to see that Chop has really turned the corner.
Yeah, that changes all the math in the game, because then there was a point when the Dolphins or the Niners got back within 2, they would be leading at that point had they gotten that. Also, had they made that field goal, the one that Moody missed for them. So, yeah, there's points left there by the Niners, and then the Dolphins save, like Chop Robinson making that play, that start to add up and make the difference in this game.
It's unfair to ask you now because you really got to go back and watch the film. What'd you pick up? Did you pick up anything from the whole Isaiah Wynn and Eichenberg, back and forth stuff? When Eichenberg went back in, I thought, well, maybe Isaiah Wynn's already injured or something. No, but seriously.
Yeah.
What'd you pick up from that? Did you pick anything up from that?
Yeah, no, not yet. So I will have to review it. I know Mike McDaniel thought the same even when he was asked, but I just found it very intriguing to even go to that. So I assumed at first, Wynn re-injured himself, but then you see he seems fine. He hasn't been announced for any injury. He's not in the injury tent. So what's going on? And it was just really interesting to even see that strategy for NFL coaches and players with their offensive line. That's like, it's like, so they're babies of just, they don't want to mess with it. Like, we know how the offensive linemen, they sit together on the bench, the way they line up and do everything, together, all these different things. And it seems odd to break up chemistry within a game going in and out. But I'll have to review. I know there was at one point when Eichenberg went back in, that the offense had gotten a little bit stale, but then got back going. I'm not sure how much that had to do with his presence, because we know guard is a position that the Dolphins under Mike McDaniel pretty much value the least. So how much did it really play into it? I don't know, but I'll have to look into how each one played, but it was kind of just surprising to see.
I thought Tua played a hell of a game, dude, and his stats would have been way better if people actually hung on to the ball. His stats would have been absolutely wicked. So talk to me. What you see from Tua?
Tua didn't turn the ball over, so he needed to get that corrected coming off that last game against Houston. So that was big against the San Francisco team, where you knew your defense could hold them down a little bit. So that was key. Don't give them anything for free. His numbers would look entirely different if Tyreek Hill hangs on to one ball in the end zone was tipped. So I don't discount him on that one. No, because the trajectory is altered last second. Trying to catch a pass like that.
It wasn't altered that much. Go look at it.
It doesn't alter that much, but your hands are in one spot, and the ball goes a little bit to another spot. So I don't discredit him on that.
If you have elite hands, you make it.
Okay. I think any receiver, anyone who plays the game will tell you that little bit makes a huge difference, because unless you got huge hands. But
what'd you think of the one that went right through his back?
Yeah, that one was unacceptable. He wasn't seeing the ball well. It seemed like he signaled over. He made a big deal about not getting enough practice reps with Tua during the week.
Those are bullshit excuses. The wrist, dude. He pulled himself out on a third down. Yeah. Him and Waddle chose to walk off the field in a really key moment, and they put two guys that belong nowhere on a football field there. They chose to get off the field on their own on third down. So if you're not in shape and you're out of wind, you're not a professional, because you're not in shape. There's a reason why Jerry Rice, to go with the old man route, he used to run every route, and when he'd catch every ball, he'd run it all the way to the end zone. And it didn't matter if he was practicing on the 10-yard line on the other side, he'd run it all the way to the end zone, so he would always be in great shape. So if you guys are constantly taking yourself out, Waddle and Tyreek, because you're not in shape, then that's your fault. That's your lack of professionalism. If you can't catch the ball and you're not ready to catch the ball because it's slightly tipped or it goes through your basket, or whatever it is, or they snatch it out of your hands, that's your fault, dude. You didn't work on the jugs machine.
You didn't work on enough routes. All those kind of things. You know, it's up to you to be the professional, to be great at your craft. Tyreek Hill does not choose to be great at his craft. That's why he constantly screws up. So I'm not buying any of his excuses, dude. You know what this is? This is a bunch of bullshit so he can keep the wrist injury going that he really doesn't have anymore, but he wants to sue the cops at the end of the year. So, you know, it's kind of like, I wasn't born in this street, bro. I know what's going on.
Yeah, I think you might be on to something with that one, but yeah, I mean, I found it interesting because he wasn't even expected to be one of the players at the podium, and then he's the first one that shows up. So it was interesting. It seemed like he almost wanted to make a point to go in and say that publicly, which might speak to some disconnect between him and Mike McDaniel. There's something going on there. When also we have no idea why on Friday he was. The word personal showed up on the injury report as he was limited and then suddenly questionable. Some stuff might be going on behind the scenes there, but
no. Tyreek? No.
Yeah. No, not with Tyreek, of course.
Nah, he's only had 5 kids in the last calendar year. I mean, he's only got like 12 kids from like 9 different women or something crazy number like that or something. I don't know, man. Yeah, not much goes on in Tyreek's life.
I've lost track of the numbers, although one friend did text a group text that I'm in saying when he caught the touchdown saying, oh, now he's got more touchdowns this season than babies. He just passed the the number he needed.
What was this?
I couldn't believe it.
Was this his 6th touchdown? Like 5 kids?
And I'm not sure what count he's going by.
Okay.
Right. The number might be debatable, but according to whatever reported numbers this season, this year at least, calendar year, I would imagine.
Yeah, and listen, for the people, and we all stand in different places. Like your coworker wants everybody back. He's cool with that. Some people like me, I just want McDaniel gone. Some people want McDaniel and Greer gone. Some people want Tua, McDaniel, Greer gone. Some people want Ross to sell a team and Greer, McDaniel, and Tua gone. Whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever combination it is, the win today and probably a win with the next 2 weeks, everybody's coming back. Maybe if you lose 2 of 3 or all 3, if you lost today and the next 2, maybe Ross like, oh man, maybe I should do something. But I think it's pretty much 100% that everybody's going to come back. And I don't see them really losing both games. I'm pretty sure they'll win at least one of the 2. They should win both, but I'll never say that about a Jets game, bro, because it's the Jets, dude. I've watched Marino lose that game. Okay? I've watched Marino lose that game. Like, how did we lose to the Jets? They were way better, and it was just Jets Dolphins,
Yeah, and if you've seen on my Twitter feed, our photographer Joe Cavaretta with the Sun Sentinel, he had a shot of Stephen Ross with fists in the air when Devon Achane scored the touchdown late in the game. He looks way too happy right now to be contemplating sending any of these guys home. So I think, to your point, I would imagine folks are coming back. And the way I would do it is, run it back, especially if you finish strong and maybe Mike McDaniel proves, even if the team is eliminated, that he did not lose the locker room and still got them to still play hard in a couple of games where the team was already out of it, whatever the case may be. Then you do run it back and say with the fallback that, if Tua wouldn't have missed those 4 games and you were 3-1 in those 4 instead of 1-3, look, we would have been in the playoffs, this and that. So,
and it's 3 straight winning seasons, by the way. If he does,
9-8,
it's 3 straight. Even if they don't make the playoffs, if they do, it's even more of a case because it's 3 winning seasons and 3 playoffs.
5 straight overall.
Yeah.
5 straight going back to 2020. Yeah.
So at least that would be pretty cool. If you're able to do something like that. Again, I just mention it because I don't really expect major changes, at all. As much as I would like to see McDaniel gone, because I don't really think he's much of a coach,
And today he constantly proved it. I mean, that challenge was just, I mean, and the timeout late, that was a better time to call a timeout. There are just things that go on all the time with him that I just, it drives me crazy. But you have to lose these games in order to put yourself in that position. And right now, this was a huge win for them to kind of not have that controversy anymore, no matter what banner flies over the stadium.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think the day started like that. And I know Perkman, I don't know if maybe he mentioned it on the segment with you, but he had mentioned to me he didn't see Chris Greer where he normally is downstairs when I think he said when Ross and Garfinkel were there. And also our photographer who took the shot of Ross and Garfinkel together celebrating the H-hand run at the end that sealed it. He mentioned that he usually would see Greer with them there too and did not see him in this case. So I was Dave Hyde was with me when we were talking about it, and then he said, he probably doesn't want to hear it from the fans when he comes through that tunnel and walks down there. So
that's it. That's it. Yeah. That's what it is. Don't read into it like anything else. That's just Greer doesn't want to be like at this moment. They have a good moment. Why? Okay, the hate is out there for me. Let me stay away. He doesn't like being in the limelight anyway.
Right.
So,
he doesn't. Mm-hmm.
So he's more than happy to hang out behind the scenes. It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think like I've said, you committed to this course. So especially with a strong finish, then that wouldn't be enough reason. I could have seen if maybe it really was a total collapse at the end, and let's say they were 6-8 going in. If they would have lost the last three, go 6-11, then you're looking at that record and saying, "Ooh, actually now, maybe you do need major changes." But I think they've already gotten to a point where they could at least go to the missing Tua excuse and then say the season would have gone differently had you had him for those games, and maybe if you pull that first game back against Arizona, had him for the Colts game, all these different scenarios. But I don't think it's to the point where Ross would make that move. What I could see is run it back, and then if it goes awry again next year in what would be a no excuse season, then it's like heads will roll. It's then you really missed out on an opportunity that was like huge win now window, and then you really might have to just start over pretty soon.
I got you. All right, what do you got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, just finishing up on coverage here of this game, of this win, where playing out all the scenarios. I know you've long said the season's over, but still got a report on what the mathematical scenarios are, and then tomorrow I'll be grading the game, and right now just filling out the game coverage with all the post game reaction.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. David, have a terrific night, my friend, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too.
You got it. There you go. The great David Furones and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report. And please call and reach out to my man Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom. If something happened to you, you have no idea if you have a case. Statute of limitations may not have expired. Call them 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. The consultation is completely free. They are helping a lot of our listeners all throughout the state of Florida, not just in South Florida, but in the West Coast, Orlando. All kinds of our listeners, unfortunately, have dealt with storm issues and insurance companies that don't live up to their responsibilities. Call Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom. They will bring those insurance companies to their knees like they did for me with Progressive Insurance. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welt and Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welt and Rayom can help.
Right. Sean, any super chats there while we're doing the interviews? No. Okay, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation.
Oh, there was one. True fan, sorry.
Okay, I'll go to it right now. You can also do PayPal, and he'll show you the QR codes there for PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Jose Reyes on Cash App. Thank you, sir, for the Bitcoin donation. Love it. Merry Christmas, Owen Sean. Thank you, Jose. Very kind of you. Let's see on Venmo, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Peter German, thank you, sir, again for Venmo. He says, my biggest problem with the organization is they had no foresight. I never thought they should have extended Tua, Tyreek, or Jalen Ramsey when they didn't have to. The most underpaid and underappreciated player, Sealer, he should be saying, show me the money. Well, they did already. They did that last year. They gave him the contract and not Wilkins. So, they kind of did that already. They'll redo it after next season. That's what will happen. They'll give him another extension after next season, but it'll be a year down the line. But yeah. And listen, all those contracts are, except for Tua, I would have given Tua the contract. The Tyreek and Jalen Ramsey, I totally understand it. That was a little overzealous there. There was no hurry to give them a deal. I agree. Joe Cracchiola, thank you, sir, for the Venmo. You are Studley, and we tell you Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal because we get 100% of the donation. We appreciate the super chats, but here we get 100. He says, Big O, you're spot on. It's about the logo. It's about our favorite team. I can't root for another team. I've tried. I will die a Dolphins fan and celebrate days like today. Exactly. It's all we got, man. It's all we got. And one day, I hope they figure it out. And if they do, then I'm going to be super freaking happy as a Dolphins fan. It's all I can do, guys. That's it. Ride it out that way. And one day they figure it out, and I'll be celebrating the Super Bowl with all of you somewhere in some town somewhere, Well, that's if they win the next time they go, whenever they go. But I'll be there. And that's what we're working our way to. This is what we root for every year. This is why our hearts are broken every year and crushed and all that. But it's not going to scare me off. You know what I'm saying? It's going to piss me off sometimes like I am this season. Like right now I'm all right because they won. So I'm all right, but I'll be in that cranky ass mood pretty soon if they lose again, I'll be in a cranky mood because I'm already cranky about this season. They should have had a better season. You and I know that. All right, what did True Fin fans say on the super chat? Let's see. Sorry, HN is a better player right now. Yeah, I would say so. Right now, I would say HN is the better player than Tyreek Hill right now. Better football player, period, right now. Andrew Pereira. Big O, in other words, a fitty ball. You and I would rather have HN catching than Tyreek. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Let's see. McDaniel has underachieved, even if they go 9-8. Well, you're right, Alf. I mean, I'm not going to agree with that. I'm not a McDaniel fan. But the reasons they don't go 11-6 will be on the QB2 and the O-line. Greer had a good offseason, but those two misses were huge. Yes. I'm stuck in a really tough position on the QB2 part. There's so much more to that story. So much more that people don't know. Sucks. Can't tell you, but there's more to it. Let's see what else. They got to get two guards and a back. Yeah. If you look at it, they're not in bad shape. Like I've told you guys, they've got their outside pass rushers. They've got an inside linebacker. They need just one inside linebacker. They've got, like I said, their outside pass rushers. They've got an inside guy in Sealer. They need one more inside guy. So you need an inside backer, an inside defensive tackle to kind of help you out, and then you need 2 fat guys at guard. You know, those are the kind of the positions you got to toughen yourself up. You can fill some of those in the draft and then buy one in free agency or something, or maybe 2. I'm not sure. I don't know if you'll have that kind of space to buy 2 really good ones. These are things that you have to do. But if you really look at it, you know, they're good with their starting tackles. They've got backup offensive tackles. They got their starting center. So these are things that are kind of in place. They got a fullback. They got a lot of elements. Add a big back if you can, a power back. You know, there's elements that they can add to get to a point where we all want them to be a tougher, more physical team. Because next year you get Jackson back, and then you add Patrick Paul, and hopefully you become a much more physical team too. And we saw the drop off in the running game without Austin Jackson. You know, and that's one guy that turned the corner. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But Alf, you're 1,000% right. McDaniel has underachieved. Every season he's underachieved. His talent has been better to win more games. He's underachieved every year, even last year when they won 11 games. So I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Let's see. I hate when Big O knows a story but can't say. Oh, my God. You have no idea the stuff I have to hold in. That's the worst part. There's some stuff that I'd love to tell you, but I cannot tell you. So, yeah, there's one juicy one. Oh, my God. It's juicier than a Chateaubriand at Burns Steakhouse. Okay? Juicier than a Chateaubriand. And a Chateaubriand at Burns Steakhouse. Ooh, delectable. Melt in your mouth. Let's see. I hate the narrative of taking the best player available when we should be focusing on our needs. Jared, you can't do that. You got to take the best player available if the player is clearly the best player available. Like, if he is the best player, you have to take him. You know, if the best player and the player you need, there's not much of a difference, that's when you go with need. You know what I'm saying? But you go like in the first round. Sometimes you have no choice. And there's a guy there that is just so nasty that he is much better than the guy you need at that position at that spot. So you have, and you know, if it overlaps a little, so be it. Find a way to trade another guy or something, since the guy you're getting now drafting is cheap. You know, all those kind of things. But that you can't control sometimes. You know? So I understand when teams have to do that. Let's see. They had a big back with Brooks, but decided to release him. I know, man. I know. That's where the front office, and again, that's their mistake. They have to sometimes tell Mike McDaniel that, no, you're not doing that. This is how you're going to do it. That's what they have to do. And they don't do that enough. And Mike McDaniel has not earned enough to have almost any impact whatsoever in personnel, to be quite honest. You haven't won anything to have any say in personnel. And that's one thing that if I'm the front office, I'm definitely not giving him his way in too many things, unless I obviously agree or something like that. Big O, is there any doubt that Mike McDaniel will run Devon Achane to the ground eventually? That's kind of what it feels like. Yeah. Frankie says, here's the thing. Big O does not disagree with Greer not investing on a QB2, so that means Greer also allowed and agreed in going cheap on QB2. Well, I mean, you guys can believe whatever you want to believe. You know, that's fine. I kind of know exactly what went on. So, didn't really go like that. That's all I can say. One day, the stories will flow. And not Brian. Let's see. Big O, too bad Keith Kachuk didn't have bigger sons who played football. They are the kind of players the Finns need. Amen to that, dude. Amen to that. Al says, sorry to two-time post. Bro, you can post as much as you want, Alf. You're good with me, bro. You know that. Your thoughts if Gently is there for Miami in the first round, you pass up on a superstar running back? No, I don't. When that's what I need for my offense, because now I can attack you with him and HN. I can just Mostert, move on, and that's it. Yeah, dude, no. And then Jalen Wright doesn't cost you a lot of money as a third rounder, so it gives me a carousel of backs. I want to get back to running the football. So yeah, I have no problem with that, dude. You're in the middle of the round. That's where you want to get a first. That's where you want to get a first round running back. Hell yeah, dude. I don't have a problem with that at all. I could get a fat, you know the draft, Alf. They can get guards and defensive tackles in the second and third rounds. Actually. Very easy. You don't have to get a defensive tackle and a guard in the first round, actually. Sometimes, as you also know, Alf, sometimes you're reaching a little bit in the middle of that first round. If you're in the high teens to early 20s, which is where the Dolphins are going to be, right? Sometimes you find yourself reaching for that defensive tackle guard in that spot. So, yeah, I'm with you there. So you get a superstar. Again, that's exactly what I talked about. The back is way better than the guard that you get. So let me go buy my guard, the one free agent move, okay, and I'll get another guard in the draft. Okay, so then I can bring that guy along slowly, but the free agent guard will plug right in, boom, pop, I'm ready to go. And then I can get a defensive tackle. And defensive tackles can be found in the third, and the fourth round, the fifth round, like you can find guys. So that's the fat guys can be found after. They don't have to be reaching the first round. So Alf, I'm with you. If the running back is there, I love that. I love that. That's a nice one on your part there. I like it. I like it. Will HN see a second contract? Let's see if he survives. Let's see. Big O, if I can be a general manager for a year, I'd focus on the franchise and make the Dolphins staff Hall of Fame. Afterwards, I'd retire. Would be nice. Brian Landis believes in Christmas miracles, so he's expecting his Dolphins to make it. Okay. Josh says, I think the story goes that Greer wanted a good QB2, but McIdiot wanted to stay with Skyler. I can't tell you exactly how it happened. It's all I can't tell you. But the day I can, you're going to go, really? What? Yeah. Some of the shit that happens in this world that's nothing. That story's boring compared to another story. Let's see. Somebody needed to tell Tyreek that accidents cause people. That's a good one. I like that. That's funny. That's funny. You have to hit on sure players in the first round. That's why Noah Igbenogany was crazy. That's again, as I've said many times, Todd, it's just so stupid to pick on Noah Igbenogany because he hit on a whole bunch of other guys in the secondary. You know, he the guy that got the interception today comes from the street in Kohou. So he makes up for it. And maybe Storm turns into a player. Holland was a player until those two knee injuries, unfortunately. Minka Fitzpatrick is a hell of a player. I mean, they hit on other people in the secondary. I get that they missed on – it's like the offensive line. After all this shit that's been talked about, they miss on Eichenberg, but they hit on Austin Jackson. They hit on Rob Hunt. So they hit on two of the three. That's pretty damn good. And if they hit on Patrick Paul – then, you know, there's another one that they hit on. You're not going to hit on all of them, but, you know, all right. And then they go and find Connor, who was serviceable, They didn't pay a lot. Now they get Aaron Brewer for very little money for 3 years, like $7 million per season. Super efficient. They're actually not as bad as people make it out to be in the offensive line. It's just that the guy that's coaching it doesn't make them look nearly as good as they should sometimes. That's the problem. But it's just we panic about things a little too much when it's actually like, you know, they've done all right overall in the secondary. The same guy that's drafting found X. That was a good pick. You know what I'm saying? There's been other players, and I don't even know if the little safety that was playing in the preseason, they haven't given him that much, but maybe he turns out to be a decent player for them. You know, they've done all right, actually, better than what people make it out to be, but they want to pick on Noah or you want to pick on Eichenberg. But really, they've actually done some decent work with some other guys. You know, Austin Jackson was just as hated as much as Eichenberg. The only thing is he came through. He turned into a good player. He turned into such a good player that when he just recently got injured, it affected the running game completely, which shows that Austin Jackson's a pretty decent player. So they've done all right, man. I just think it's what Alf says. The coach has underachieved every year. And it's their fault in the front office, so I can't defend that, as I've said 100 times. So those of you that want to pick on the front office for that, I can't argue with you on that one. You know? So anyway, let's keep throwing fitty balls to Oompa Loompas. Well, that's your coach. What can I tell you? So that dude was defining tank draft. Anyone who evaluated Noah at Auburn should have known this. Whatever. It is what it is. And Todd, you're the same guy that was picking on Chop Robinson because he was also very raw. Didn't get a lot of sacks at all in Penn State. So I'm sure you're the guy who was picking because that's kind of the way it goes. I've done this for a long, long time. It's there's a lot of phoniness, especially with fans. Why? Because most of us aren't tracking a goddamn thing you guys are saying. So that's why. And you get to play the second guess game in the worst ways. Like somebody said, well, they should have signed Rob Hunt the year before. Like, give me a break, dude. Anyway, we are out of here. We thank Chris Perkins. We thank David Furones. We thank the great Sean Stanley. Thanks to all of you out there that tuned in. Please hit the like button, share. Very important you share with everybody out there so they can find the show. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to talk a little bit more about the Dolphins and other things going on in the world of South Florida sports and everything else. Have a blessed one, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
You've been listening to our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The broadcast is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, RM Contractors, Toyota of Hollywood, Haineswear, Sloman's Home Security, BigCheeseMiami.com, EJD Construction. The broadcast is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley. Thank you for supporting the platform and our fantastic sponsors. Go Fins!